Aloha, y'all. It is Tuesday, Tears Day, ruled by Tyr, which is named after Tyr, the Mars kind of equivalent in Nordic mythology. Tears Day, the 10th, which is a third eye day, which I'll show in a second. But today is a white overtone world bridger guided by timelessness, according to the dream spell. Today is an ajna, third eye chakra day, right? So if you're going to be doing chakra balancing, meditation stuff, be doing the mudras, the mantras, focus on all the chakras ideally, but third eye is going to be what we're dealing with today on this Tears Day, this Tuesday. This Tuesday, the sun is in 18 degrees Scorpio, the moon's 15 degrees Virgo, Mercury is 29 degrees Libra, almost into Scorpio. Back into Scorpio. It retrograded from Scorpio into Libra, and it's gone forward direct. So we're going back into Scorpio. Should be pretty interesting, pretty intense. Venus is in Libra. Mars is in retrograde in Aries. That's going to be going direct soon also. So let's go ahead and pull some cards, shall we? Hopefully you're all doing well. Let me know where you're watching from, how you're doing. Life is such a funny trip, is it not? So we got the Three of Wands. Very Mars rules Tuesday. Mars. So this is very kind of energy of that. So let me explain why I say that. It's like very explorative, very action oriented. It's like, yo, I'm going out here and looking out what's coming up. It's very scrutinous, kind of like observing, right? He's sitting there observing, Scorpio sun, and he's practically embodied. He's willing to do the work physically, move, right? Eventually, Virgo moon. So Three of Wands. It's actually, I mean, there's no bad cards, but this is a great card. I think we're all personally, individually, as well as collectively going through a Three of Wands moment, right? This is about grasping opportunities, putting your plan into motion, right? It's being like, all right, I see that hill over there. I want to climb over there and go there. Giving the idea space to breathe and find its own path. I expand my horizons, the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands suggests you are moving ahead with success. Confident you are aligning your skills and talent to achieve something of value, not only for yourself, but for others too. Whether you have set your sights on furthering a career or business to support yourself and perhaps other dependents, you feel that you are being called by life to manifest something of significance. This whole COVID lockdown is causing us to make choices about where we want to be going individually. Are we going to just sit around drinking, watching TV all day? Are we going to do, planking and learn a language? What are you going to do with your time, right? And it was always this case, but now we're in a pressure cooker of scrutiny to see what we're doing with our time, right? So, you sense a growing purposefulness in your character, having clearly understood what is important to you and how you might change some small part of the world in front of you for the better. Moon and Virgo, right? How for the health, for our health and the health of others, do we change and transform the world practically? Moon and Virgo, change and transform Sun in Scorpio. In the artwork, a strong figure stands with his back to us, overlooking a mystical cityscape of jeweled towers and turrets. A wand is held securely in his left hand, an offering or a signal. A series of extraordinary tentacled creatures hover before him, emanating energy traces that warp the sky. From the calm, solid countenance of the man, we can assume these creatures or mystical entities are benevolent and are attracted to him. It's as if they are here to bestow some gift or exchange, and we can see that one drawing close on his left is releasing a shower of gold pieces. This figure stands in his power, confident and ready to receive the riches and energy they bring because he is clear about the greater purpose and abundance this abundance will serve. Service is very Virgo moon, and power is very Scorpio sun. So he's powerfully standing there waiting to understand where basically he can move from this position. Sorry, I saw sound, and I'm like, does that mean there is no sound? So hopefully there is sound. This figure stands in power, Scorpio sun, confident and ready to receive the riches and energy they bring because he is clear about the greater purpose this abundance will serve. Service with the money, Moon and Virgo. In his book, Power versus Force, the professor David R. Hawkins describes how influential and powerful figures in the world emanate warmth, sincerity, and openness, treating everyone as an equal and above all aware of the responsibilities of their position. Venus and Mercury in Libra, right? being open-minded, being balanced and helpful. This success carries with it the opportunity and obligation, responsibility, right, to be the very best one can be. He points out the very successful people realize they are a channel acted through to create success in the outer world with little anxiety about losing their status and success. You don't take things personally when you realize you're an emanation of the divine in physical form, right? And we're like, God is working through me, God is working through you, and God is working through every situation, and God is working, right? It's like, it's all good in that sense. You don't start getting anxious. Well, am I doing the right thing? Oh my God, right? Like that kind of stuff. You're always doing what you need to be doing given your choices too. This solid confidence comes from the knowledge that the source of their success is inside them. The kingdom of God is within inside, a quality of being rather than something out there that they need to exercise control over. The shadow of Scorpio is the exercising control, like dominance and power, and being like, right? And Virgo, moon, can be very like organized and being like, yo, it has to be perfect emotionally. We have to understand everything is perfectly imperfect. Nothing's out of harmony ever. I mean, this is very lofty philosophy, as Haley, my fiance, I love you, Haley, reminds me. It's like, it's one thing to say like all is one, but it's like another thing to understand what that means. It's like you are a manifestation of a node, just like in this necklace, right? It's showing many parts that is a part of a whole. It's both and. It's a simultaneity. So you're an individual in a whole, in a unity. Both and. It's a paradox. I know it's hard to kind of grok sometimes, but is what it is. So there's a clear distinction to be made. Force is something you have to apply to move something. Like you have to shove, you have to force to gain momentum. You have to create the inertia yourself. Power, on the other hand, is something that you emanate and have ready access to anywhere. Pushing away versus pulling in. When the factors of power are fully understood, all fear or threat of being diminished by circumstances fades away, and you can move forward. An example of true power is seen in logic-defying strength of great energy masters practicing Qigong. Often small, seemingly fragile people can withstand even the most sustained and violent attack without any need to resist with force, as in they don't like try to create a punch, right? With force, they are able to channel Qi, the flow of the energy of the universe, through themselves. The Three of Wands calls you to connect with your inner power, which is the I am energy, right? The divinity within you, if you want to put it that way. The part that's tethering you to the kingdom of God, the infinite part of the finite part of you. So connect with your inner power, the attractor force that draws things towards you and enables you to expand your horizons. That's what this card is all about. He's expanding his horizons. He's like, where do I go? I think of this as very much the Frodo and Samwise, where they're like, oh, look, we've left the Shire. Now where do we go? They're calling on their inner strength and power to move forward towards Mordor. Work on crafting a compelling vision for yourself that inspires and empowers you to develop your talents, your connections, and attracts the people, resources, and opportunities you deserve, right? This isn't about being like, I deserve this, so I'm going to reach out there and get it. It's about, I deserve this, so I'm going to vibrate this. It's coming from within. It's attraction, not force. Force never really works. You exert energy, no one's really happy. It's in a weird way, when you force your opinion on somebody or you force something to do something, that's taking away free will, which is like the divine law of the universe. Like, big no-no. It's like you can, coercion is like a negative polarity of this, but it's like you can attract people to your cause. You can attract people to your ideas. You can attract people to you. Whereas, as opposed to people being, as opposed to being like, yo, you have to look at me, and like, clockwork oranging someone's eyes open and being like, look at me or else. That's not how that's forcing it, right? So the Three of Wands is about grasping opportunities. They're everywhere right now. The opportunity to improve yourself, to further yourself in your journey, the opportunity to understand the world around you to a further degree, to accept things as they are, to love yourself as your enemy, all that kind of stuff. Putting your plan into motion, giving the idea space to breathe and find its own path. Right now, the wands are very creative. It's a spirit, the fire of spirit, wands. And 3 is a magic kind of number. So what we're really kind of understanding is that we're in a process of growth and alchemy of spirit. Where we're like, yo, anything's possible. What do I want to achieve? How can I go out there and get it? I want to radiate, what would even the right word be? It's like opportunism or something. It's like, oh, I have within me the belief that there's opportunities out there, so I will attract those opportunities, as opposed to looking at the world and being like, oh, this is something I have to like manhandle and like, put into an S&M fucking bondage gear and fuck or whatever. That's very graphic, I know, but Like, and there's a place for that, I guess. But like at some point, like right now, we're being called with the Scorpio Sun and the Moon in Virgo to orient our power for service, right? For service of self, for service of the dream. Looking at everything, it's like every action I do, every thought I have, is it helping or is it harming? Is it separating? Is it uniting? That kind of thing, right? So let's go ahead and pull a clarifier. It's a beautiful day here, albeit a little cold. So we have the 10 of air. This is some My Pretty Pony Lisa Frankish kind of colors here. Very pastel feminine colors. I'm not against it. Just saying. There's butterflies even. So she looks like an angel, silver-haired Pleiadian angel. Sounds like my fiance. Although, yeah. I was going to say, I don't remember if she thinks she's Pleiadian or not. I think so. I think her Pleiadian aspect. I can't speak for Haley, but I think she thinks the aspect of herself as Pleiadian has, silver hair kind of thing. So, Queen of Air I just passed. 4 of Air. So here's the 10 of Air. Cool. Keywords. And with Venus and Mercury in Libra, it's very airy, communicational value-wise. So keywords: individuation, self-actualization, liberation, altered perceptions, new paradigms, great mystery, paradox. Haley, watch out. We've been talking about paradox all morning. And potential. See, the paradox is he's an individual on a journey, but there is no journey. There's no destination. It's the whole fucking trip. That's the whole point, right? He's an individual in a scene, but he's quantumly entangled with that scene just as much as it is with him. Like he is the stardust as much as the oxygen he's breathing. It's a both and. It's a paradox, simultaneity, right? So key phrases: a time of independence. We're branching out. We're seeing where we want to go. Right? Where do our hearts want to lead us? Saying goodbye to the public persona, no longer bound by another's opinion, walking your own path. That is what this guy is about to do. He's about to walk his own path. Humans are paradoxical by nature. All morning I've been talking about this with Haley. There's no getting around paradox. The nature of the universe is paradoxical. There's dark matter as much as visible matter. Wave particle duality. It's a paradox. You are part of the all, experiencing the individuality. You're an individual within the web of the all, right? It is what it is. It's a paradox. So, but this is saying even more loudly, humans are paradoxical by nature. Humans are hypocritical. Get used to it. You're going to say one thing and do another. It happens. So when it happens, try not to throw rocks at people too hard, because you yourself, whoever's sinless, throw the first stone. That's why you can't throw stones. We're all hypocrites. It's not ideal, but we're working through it. It's a stage of our evolution and cognitive dissonance as human beings, basically. See and know your potential. The self is whole, so you have shadows and all this kind of stuff, but you are unified ultimately. And time to grow up and leave home. Oh, look, Frodo's leaving the Shire. Time to grow up and leave home. It's the real... I can't make this shit up. The magic pops, right? Meaning the process of individuation leads to becoming oneself, to stepping away from external forces that we believe define us, to becoming an independent being who recognizes and embraces their own uniqueness and individuality. So, for example, though I think tarot and astrology are very powerful informers, like I am a Gemini, a double Gemini, as my fiance kind of teases me, I mention a lot, I'm also more than my chart, right? So to be bound only to the chart, not the full picture, to say that the chart doesn't matter, not accurate in my opinion at this time in human evolution, right? So it's a paradox. You are your chart, you're more than your chart. Your chart expresses who you are, but you're more than that, so don't be bound by that model, right? So and the process of individuation is what the actual process of the zodiac shows. Aries is like, I am here, and by the time you get to Pisces, it's like, I release myself. I am no longer me, I am one with all. It's this process of individuation. We're doing that on multiple levels. It is about removing the mask we present to the public so that we are liked and respected and accepted. The face we wear so we fit in and belong, right? Venus and Mercury and Libra. Are we saying things just to be nice and placate and not shock waves? Are we putting out a persona that is for being liked as opposed to authentic? We don't want to be so authentic that we like hurt other people and be like, I'm me, fuck you. Like that's not where we're trying to go. Because when you say fuck you, you're saying fuck you to yourself. That's why loving your enemies is the thing. But at the same time, like you want to know who you are on your own terms, right? It's both and. It's a paradox. You have to understand yourself. I'm a man because I'm not a woman. I understand myself through my equal opposite, or however you want to look at this. But then I have to know who I am beyond just my genitals, right? And my biochemical makeup, right? No longer are our public face and private life very different. We represent our face to the world, and if it is not like, then so be it. This can be very Scorpio sun. It's like, this is the secret me. This is who I am, all my shade and my shadow and all my weirdness and taboos. And Virgo moon, where it's like, it's healthy to be individual. You can't just be like everybody else. We are all one, but this isn't some hyper woo to bypass the fact that we are individuals, right? And there's frequencies. Like, you are an individual and you are a part of unity consciousness. You are like the one looks through your eyes just as much as through your enemy's eyes. If it makes us a black sheep in the flock of white sheep, then so be it. Very Scorpio sun, right? And Virgo moon, where it's like, if it's practical and it's healthy and it's the right thing to do and it's grounding emotionally, Virgo moon, then I will be different. I will be against the grain. I will be a rebel. I will be taboo, Scorpio sun. We would rather be honest and accepted by the few than to be what family or society expects. Individuation is being who we are meant to be, as opposed to being the person society tells us we should be. It is breaking free from caring about what people think of us, because we love who we are and what we do with our life. We are free, liberated, because we are not bound by others' opinions of us or our actions, the constraints of society, or the impediments of the past. It is integrating conscious and unconscious soul and shadow, conscious and unconscious, the sun in Scorpio. What are you unaware of? Right? Get it, like lifting the rocks and looking at all the creepy crawly bugs and being like, wow, they're there too. They were always there. I just didn't see them. Right? So integrating conscious and unconscious, soul and shadow, the masculine and the feminine, and creating a whole where the self resides at the center. No longer does duality separate and divide. Yes, we're individuals, but it doesn't mean I'm me and fuck you. It says I'm me and you're you. Right? It doesn't separate and divide in a negatively polarized way. All is in harmony. Venus and Libra, all is perfectly balanced and working harmoniously as it should be, and working in unison. That's the unity I'm talking about. All is in harmony and working together, because it's all part of the one organism of being. You are you, whole, complete, and ever evolving, a work in progress, right? And that evolution is not a linear process. Sometimes it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Sometimes it's 10 steps up and then a little down, right? Like it's all over the place. Sometimes it's 10 steps down, back, and 1 step forward. Like if we were to nuke ourselves into oblivion, it's like that's 10 steps back. So it is a circumambulatory process of viewing the self and seeing it from multiple perspectives. As a double Gemini, with Mercury in Libra, like not me personally, but Mercury's in Libra right now, seeing all the sides, seeing yin and yang, seeing that they're both part of the whole, seeing it's all good, is where we are being asked to like dwell emotionally, Virgo, for our health and others. No aspect is ugly or beautiful, none good or bad, none better or worse. This is a really hard pill to swallow. If you're a Trumper thinking, Biden is the Antichrist and all this kind of stuff, not helpful. If you're a Democrat who votes for Biden or whatever, and you think all these QAnon Trumper types are the fucking bane of humanity and like what a fucking sad, pathetic situation, not helpful, right? It's all good. It's all happening, and therefore it is. None better or worse. Each has its place and purpose as part of the beautiful whole. To individuate is to understand paradox and accept that you are one. You are human. To be a whole and complete human is to be paradoxical. I'm laughing because this is all I've been talking about with my fiance all morning. To individuate is to see and know your potential as an individual and to step forward into the unknown and meet it. 3 of Wands, stepping forward into the unknown and meeting it, right? And being like, oh, I resonate this new opportunity and I bring it towards myself. Hopefully this is working. It looks like it's glitching out a little. I don't know. Right? To individuate is to see and know your potential, to step forward into the unknown and meet it. You're willing to step away from all that you were so that you become all that you choose to be. More better, progress in the illusory sense. In this process, your perception is altered forever. You are forever transformed. No more are you willing to embrace old paradigms that limit and restrict, that espouse a belief that says you should not or cannot. You move forward into the great mystery, Scorpio Sun, the great mystery. Like, oh my gosh, we will never know this fully. With confidence, knowing even when life offers conflict and chaos, which it will, because conflict and chaos are as much of it as part as order and beauty, When we remain at the center, we have peace. When the 10 of air appears in your reading, it represents a time in our life after we have chosen to step free of the mask and wear only one face in private and public. I'm trying to do this. I know I'm a Gemini and I could say all these nice spiritual things and then, talking to my fiance, I'm like, oh my God, what's happening, right? I'm trying to unify into a place of acceptance, right? So when it appears, it represents a time in our life after we have chosen to step free of the mask and wear only one face in private or public. No longer do we hide our thoughts, beliefs, or feelings in order to be accepted, liked, or respected. We have turned our back on expectation, on convention, on mediocrity, on normalcy, to embrace and accept who we are and stand tall and proud. It is time to separate yourself from the herd. Though the herd is all there is, you are an individual in the herd, and to walk your own path. Three of Wands. Look, guy's about to walk his own path. Step through the doorway and begin a life where new paradigms replace the old. Be willing to expand your consciousness, open your mind, free your mind, as they say. You are free, and you are free to be the best that you can be, instead of what society tells you you must be. So we're getting to a point where we're exploring new domains. It's not like women stay at home and have babies only. It's like we're seeing what more possibilities women can do. They can go to Mars. They could be vice president or what, right? It's like we're expanding. Right? And we have to do that in a way that's beautiful. You change your beliefs, you change your mind, your structure, and that's when the reality around you starts changing. Right? Belief creates reality. You literally are walking through what you believed it to be. And that means you're participating with the video game as you see it. So enjoy the process of becoming. We're here to move from home, from the Shire, into not necessarily Mordor, but it could involve Mordor, into at least Elrond's table and what's it called? Rivendell and Lothlorien and other places, right? Our journey can take us into a myriad, I'm always mispronouncing this word, myriad of options. And we can do that, and only we can do that. Here's the door of destiny. It's saying, do you step through? You, individual self. And this is, every one of us goes through that. Paradox, hello. Every individual part has to become individual while it's simultaneously in the whole. Heavy shit, I know. Paradoxical shit, but it is what it is. We are freedom and we are love, experiencing itself as limitation to re-enter the freedom and love that was always there. Does that make sense? It may or may not make sense. It's paradox, so yeah. But with the Three of Wands, we're being encouraged to go out in love and in joy, in hope, in excitement. It doesn't mean you won't be afraid. He's like, holy shit, there's some bear traps over here, and that waterfall looks like if I fall off, I'll die. And man, over there, that guy's giving me a weird look. It's like, still, you choose to go out there. You choose to individuate. That's what this Earth 3D school is. Individuals coming into an individual and unified form. Paradox, simultaneity. We've got, I'm holding it upside down, Peregrine Falcon. This is about observation. And look what he's doing. Observing. He's up here being like, all right, which way do I want to go? I'm observing this. I'm looking around. I'm giving an idea. It's space to breathe. I've got an idea. I want to go on an adventure. What does that look like? My spirit, Three of Wands, has led me here. Now what? Right? And this is somebody coming to the door threshold and saying, do I enter? Dare I enter? There's an eyeball at the top of the door and it's going off into space, into the infinite new universe. Do I choose? Do I dare to choose that? Right? But both of these people are standing and observing. She's not running through the door. She's observing the door. He's not running yet down there. He's standing here gathering his senses in a sense and looking around and being like, what is below me? What's before me? What is this next part of the dream? Peregrine Falcon, observation. Take a step back and simply observe a situation. We are the witness in the dream. How do you observe? Sometimes very hands off, right? Scorpio Sun, observing. Virgo Moon, sometimes the Hermit card, watching and not talking, right? Observing. Listen and watch before you decide on a course of action. Guys, you can't make this shit up. What are they both doing? Listening and watching before they make a course of action. The action's going to happen, which is a choice. You could just stay, he could stay on the mountaintop, or she could stay in that dreamy world and not go into the space. But they're kind of coming to the place where it's like, what do I need to do and believe to walk through this door? Acting out rashly will not serve you in your current situation. You are being supported by powerful forces. Do not fear. You are protected. And if you start saying, I'm a part of the whole, There are no missteps. Everything is a lesson. Even the worst things that can happen to me are lessons. Even the best things that happen to me are lessons. You won't feel like life is some, gauntlet you're having to avoid. It's like, oh, it's a privilege to embark. It's just that simple, right? Mythos, the eye of Horus is shaped exactly as that of the falcon, even down to the drooped teardrop shape at one end. A sign of all-seeing royalty, benevolent protection, and supreme power and unity. So, power and unity. This magical symbol is still used today in spells for home and personal protection. Horus himself, who had a magical birth, was the child of the goddess Isis and the god Osiris. When Osiris was killed and dismembered out of jealousy by his brother, some Scorpio sun shit, it's like, I want what you have and I'm going to kill you for it. And dismembered out of jealousy by his brother, the storm god Set, which is chaos, which has to exist in the story, chaos and order, both beautiful. That's why the story exists. Osiris, which is order, right? Osiris's loyal and loving Isis searched the world for the pieces of the body. Out of what? Service. Virgo moon. With the help of magical incantations supplied by Thoth, Sun and Scorpio, magical spells, Isis healed Osiris and produced an heir, Horus. Venus in Libra, we're going to make beautiful things together. And the family, and became a family, and not just of the god of the sky and of the earth, right? Not just the unity of these paradoxes, Isis and Osiris, but a protective influence over all of Egypt. Such was his importance that it was believed that pharaohs were Horus incarnated on earth, and the temples that were dedicated to him were superb. Horus is often depicted with a falcon's head carrying the Ankh of eternal life and accompanying the pharaoh of the time. The animal. I have the privilege, and this is Stacy DeMarco, she's actually our next guest on the podcast, so she's saying first person. I have the privilege of living very close to the perching place of a pair of peregrine falcons. These magnificent birds of prey, the fastest animals on Earth, with diving speeds of up to 350 kilometers an hour, survey all, watchful for movements and meals. Survey all. He is surveying all. She is surveying the new domain, right? Watchful of new opportunities, in this sense for the hawk, or peregrine falcon rather, meals. When they see what they want, they take off, silent and compact, and their flight path as sharp as a blade. Right? Their prey is mainly other birds, usually from above by striking the bird with a punch-like action from the closed talons. Then they catch the prey in midair as it drops. These high-speed strikes are often the result of free-fall dives called stoops. The way that birds are designed, the faster they go, the more maneuverability they have. There's a paradox. It's all about paradoxes. It's like the faster you go, the better you can move. Who'd have thought? The structure of a stealth bomber, like the military plane, was modeled on the peregrine's wing shape. Hunting normally takes place at dawn or dusk, although urban falcons are also known to hunt at night nocturnally. Falcons nest in high places, scraping away areas on cliffs and natural spaces on the edges of high mountains. He's on the edge of a high mountain. Having access to a view that enables them to use that incredible eyesight is vital. These birds are able to spot prey from a kilometer away quite clearly. The magic. This is on page 101. So what's the magic of the peregrine? The primary magic of the peregrine is one of protection. As in, you can't make a wrong move. The journey is yours to take. The door is open for you to walk through. Right? There's no wrongs here in a sense. And everything is a choice. The energy is one of an all-seeing observer and protector on high. Work with peregrine magic when you need some powerful safeguarding or support. The other element I love about working with peregrine energy is the wise observational quality it provides. Wise, the highest form of a scorpion is the eagle. Similar to peregrine falcon, it's observing. It's coming from a place of wisdom and observation. It all ties together. The other element I love working with them is provides observational quality it provides. When you need to make a decision about a situation and you need to have more information to do so, should I walk through that door or not? Which way do I go in that city next? This animal will help you see the full view and to be patient about gathering of intelligence. Patience, practicality, Moon and Virgo, gathering intelligence, Scorpio, Sun. It's like, ooh, what are the secrets? What are the plots and twists? Where are the bear traps? Where are the bad guys? Where are the good guys? Where's the mushrooms for Mario to get? Where are the pits he can fall into, right? Getting that large overview. I have the symbologies. I have Horus, yellow talons, profile view of a head. Status is endangered in most territories of Australia, I presume. due to poison buildup in prey animals and egg/habitat loss. Not ideal, but it is what it is. So, very powerful animal, right? Of observation, very resonant with the situation astrologically, very resonant with the other cards. You guys get why I get all jazzed up on reading cards, because this shit is like mainlining into the fucking magic of the Tao. It's crazy. I love it. It helps me. So that's part of the reason I'm doing it. Virgo Moon is a service to me, but hopefully it's a service to you as well. If it is, tag some people, share it, whatever's clever. Pierre Mondrain is the artist that we're getting. And what can we learn from Pierre Mondrain? This looks like some Virgo Moon. It's like everything has its right place. In its right place. Right? While waiting for humanity to advance to a higher level of consciousness, doesn't that sometimes feel like where we're at? We're like, yo, are we going to climb the mountain properly? Are we going to step through the portal into 5D already? Like, are we protected and are we observing? Like, why can't people wake up or whatever, right? The Eye of Horus, rip it open. So while waiting for people to advance to a higher level of consciousness, Mondrain kept busy. It's very Scorpio Sun. It's like, do you guys get woke? But in the meantime, I'll do some kind of fiddle-dee-dee things, Virgo Moon, contributing to Distilge movement and honing his technique of neoplasticism identified by horizontal and vertical black lines, squares and rectangles of blue, yellow, and red. Mondrain sought to free his painted subject from the confines of representational art, i.e. to individuate, which is what the Ten of Air was all about. It's like getting out of the confines, getting out of the prescriptions of others on us. So he was trying to free, essentially, the basic forms of representational art and to illustrate life's basic energies. Taking it back to the basics, Virgo Moon. It's like, what is essentially here? What are we observing? Scorpio Sun. His dazzling competence in architecture and geometry, belief in the harmony of a straight line and exacting... I just got dry. Exacting anal retentiveness render inimitable his so-called aesthetic simplicity, right? So, true simplicity takes a lot of concentration, is the advice we're getting from Mondrain. We're on a journey. We don't have to take all our drama and baggage. We don't have to take our fear. The truly simple thing is to act out in joy, right? True simplicity takes a lot of concentration. Individuating, becoming who you are, takes a lot of effort, in a sense. It's also the easiest thing to do, and we resist it. Right? That's the issue. But like walking through that door is easy as pizza pie or whatever, apple pie. She just has to walk through. It's a choice. But it takes concentration. She wants to like make sure her wings don't clip the sides of the door. She wants to make sure she's not going in with like a, fear. This guy doesn't want to just sit here and be like, well, never mind. Like the simple journey takes effort and concentration. It takes observation. Know what you're working with before you just jump in. Don't make rash decisions. Right? Like, I mean, I'm not a military tactician, but it's like, you want to know your enemy and know the terrain of the land before you just go into a battle. Right? You want to be like, all right, so there's a lake over there which will pit us against them. They can flank us over here. They'll have sharpshooters over here. They actually have machine guns. We don't have that, so we got to do, right? You got to observe the situation as it stands. And that's very militaristic, I know. But true simplicity takes a lot of concentration. Right? Kind of saying what you mean and meaning what you say without kind of being overly verbose. Or true simplicity, all as one, takes a lot of concentration. Look at all the elements of unity expressing themselves as diversity. It's a paradox. Wow. So, let's go ahead and get a stone, and then I will play some rock and roll probably, because I'm in a mood. What is this stone? Scolasite. That looks like... this looks like it could belong on the on her card. It's like she could wear a crown like that, I imagine. So Scolasite. Oh, this is so apropos, you guys. Get ready. Here's more resonators. If you didn't believe that things resonated already. What it is, a Scolasite is a super vibey ice white stone that forms in needle-like bursts. Who needs it? Up all night worrying about the coming singularity types. So people who are living in fear. Brave explorers of beautiful landscapes. Dreamscapes. Look, both these people are brave explorers of dreamscapes. She's like, I'm going to go into the next level of the dream. And oh my gosh, I'm going to go into the next level of the dream. Where to put it? Under your pillow before bed, wherever you want to establish an impenetrable chill zone. That's like finding your individual core, right? And then when to use it. When it's time to take your sleep hygiene to the next level, i.e. put down the phone, pick up a book, a paper one, sip a chamomile tea, slather on the lavender oil, and wait for some rapid eye movement And those dreamy messages marked important by your subconscious. Scorpio, Sun, Virgo, Moon. It's like, what do we practically need to move through for our health? Virgo, Moon, through the subconscious. Scorpio, Sun. Dive into your dreams. Guys, can I make this shit up? I cannot. Peregrine Falcon, dive into your dreams. Go further up, further in, as Reaper Chief says. We say that a lot on Team Rabbit Hole podcast. That's where I got it. Further up and further in. It's Narnia. It's like, go further up and further into the dream. Further up in. Dive in, angel lady. Dive into the next dream. Right? Dive like a fucking peregrine falcon. You're protected. You don't have to fear. True simplicity, right, takes a lot of concentration. Making that dive takes a lot. It's just one move. Jump out of the plane. Skydive. Go for it. But that takes a lot of concentration. You have to, like, calm your fucking... I haven't skydived yet. I want to. But diving into our dreams takes a lot of... It's simple. It's a choice. Fear or love? Do I want to go towards my joy? Do I want to do what I want to dream? We're in a dream anyway. How do you want to dream? Dive further into it. But that takes some concentration. It takes some effort sometimes in just silencing fears, telling yourself you're protected, telling yourself you're in a dream of unity, exploring itself for the sake of diversity. That's where we're at. So let's go ahead and play some music. And I did a good thing. I set up already. Yay. So you won't have to wait long. Yay. All right, so the card we're getting, Three of Wands, is very exploratory. And with the Ten of Air, it's saying to explore your individuation, right? We're exploring our subconscious right now. For what? Health. Like, what do you believe in, and is it healthy? Virgo Moon is like, what's healthy? What's needed? What's not needed? What's practical? And then Scorpio is like, are you avoiding shadows? Are you avoiding mysteries out of fear? So... So, with the Three of Wands, we're going on journeys of the spirit. With the Ten of Air, we're going on individuation journey, right? Where it's the story. Whoa, that's crazy lighting. It's the story we're telling ourselves through ourselves. That's what life is. There's going to be ups and downs and highs and lows and everything in between. So don't try to avoid anything, right? In a sense, like experience life fully. Be daring and willing to choose and follow your spirit, follow your excitement. There's no perfect route. There's a million routes to get to the other side. But you have to step through the door yourself. No one else can step through this door but you. Only you can. You're protected. Observe what's going through and maybe there's other doors. Maybe it's not the only door, right? Maybe this is heading east, and what happens if he heads north or south or west, right? So observe. You are protected while you're doing this. Simplicity, right? True simplicity takes a lot of concentration. So committing that one step on a new journey takes a lot of effort, but you need to dive into your dreams using joy, love, hope, these as motivators, not fear, worry, anxiety, separation, right? Those things aren't going to help. So ultimately, dive into your dream, balls to the walls, go for it. You've chosen to incarnate, make the best of it while you're here. Step through portals, step through doors. You are a portal maker. Dive through that shit. Observe what you're looking, don't act rashly. See what the situation is and then go forward, diving into the dream after you understand what the dream kind of looks like. True simplicity takes concentration, so don't think it happened, raising up a child or raising up a crop of food or raising up an animal or whatever, like these things, raising up a nation takes time and effort and concentration. It's not, Rome wasn't built in a day. Heaven on earth won't happen overnight. It's a process, and we've chosen to dive into the dream of being architects of consciousness. So think of it that way. No podcast today. Check out the podcast. I love doing it. It's really fun and challenging. So if you want to have your mind blown, Team Rabbit Hole podcast, a lot of fun. We're at episode 180, I believe. Maybe further, 181. Holler for readings. I love giving them. People love getting them. And ultimately know that you are in control of witnessing and what you participate with. Your beliefs create the journey. What do you think you need to experience? That you've signed up for some things like, oh, I'm going to have, like, for example, my parents are going to divorce. That was a journey over here. Oh, I'm going to have drug and alcohol addiction. That's over here. And then how do I walk that terrain, right? So that's kind of where, oh, great, sound is messing up. Now it's okay. Anyway, I'm not sure how that all works. Fuck Facebook. But the point is, step through the portals, dare to dream, dare to choose, let it breathe, don't just force it. Have faith, you're protected. Dive into the dream, right? Dive into your dreams, dive into the dream of the unity as a diverse individual, and know that simplicity takes concentration. So knowing your mission, knowing what you prefer, knowing what you believe, it takes a second, so don't beat yourself up. Hopefully that makes sense. Have a good day, y'all.